Coming up on your summer edition of Carolina Week, with the recent rush of robberies and break-ins, Chapel Hill police are urging local residents to play it safe.
And as beef prices rise, an unusual brand of theft has emerged.
In sports, the Heels and Beavers needed all 3 games to decide a winner in the College World Series. We'll take you from the first pitch to the Heels' homecoming.
Plus, weathercaster Rob Ellis is here with your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and a new snack craze. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Hello, and welcome to the June 28th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Caitlin Kleinert.
And I'm Lindsay Michael. It's the wettest June on record in North Carolina, and all the water is causing ongoing problems.
Well, it's been 2 weeks since the remnants of Tropical Storm Alberto swept through the Triangle. Some people are still dealing with the mess it left behind. The storm waters that put parts of Crabtree Mall underwater did a lot of damage. Scores of cars were practically floating in the mall parking lot. Victims tell us that mall security told them the mall would take full responsibility. However, 2 weeks later, the mall's insurance company has decided the flooding was a result of a natural disaster. It will not be compensating people for their losses. One car owner told us that mall officials won't even disclose the name of their insurance company for any of the victims to call and complain.
Mohammed Taheri Azar, the Carolina graduate who admitted to driving a rented SUV through the pit, striking 9 people all in March, has been assigned an attorney. Originally, Taheri Azar said he would plead guilty and represent himself in court, but the judge wouldn't allow him to do so until he passed a psychiatric evaluation. Taheri Azar decided to accept an attorney rather than face evaluation.
Many break-ins occur in the Chapel Hill area, and students' apartments and houses are especially vulnerable. Carolina Week's Catherine Harrell has some safety tips to help you keep someone from breaking into your home.
There are many precautions you can take to reduce the risk of a break-in to your home, such as learning what the vulnerable areas are.
Take a moment to survey the outside of your home. See if there are any hiding spots or places where someone could easily break in.
Also, don't fall into the habit of doing things only when you're not home, such as closing blinds or curtains that are normally open when you're there. Chapel Hill Community Service Officer Lori Patino Sanchez has some other basic tips.
Try and put yourself in the mindset of someone who's wanting to break in. What would they be looking for? Is there an easy place to hide? Is it very deserted behind your house? These are all things you want to think about, but especially pay attention to the lighting you have outside and how your shrubbery is situated.
Bolt locks are very important to reduce the risk of a break-in. However, UNC student Michael Saklaritas knows bolt locks aren't always enough.
I mean, it could happen at any time, and there's nothing we can do to prevent it because we had our door locked and they just kicked it in. But I mean, it's kind of always on the back of your mind.
Are there bushes that are maybe kind of overgrown near the house where people could get behind them and hide? Are those bushes obstructing maybe an access to a window?
That's why you should keep your valuables in a locked drawer and out of plain sight. In Chapel Hill, I'm Catherine Harrell, Carolina Week.
In addition, if you go home for a long weekend, take your laptop and other valuables with you.
Across the nation, farmers and ranchers are facing increasing theft concerns of their own. Cattle rustling is on the rise across America. Authorities aren't exactly sure why, although some say it's because of rising beef prices. Unlike stealing a TV, stealing a cow requires little more than getting past a thin wire, and thieves can receive almost $1,000 per cow. Bob Nutter is the owner of Maple View Ice Cream and Farms. He has several hundred cows, but says cattle theft isn't a problem in North Carolina.
Sometimes you hear about cattle being stolen and so forth, but I think that's mostly in West Texas, places, open range and that sort of thing.
North Carolina isn't a big beef producer, and like Nutter, many farmers instead have dairy cows. So unless dairy prices go up, cow theft probably won't become a big problem in North Carolina. A popular game day spot that's been a Chapel Hill favorite for more than 50 years is closed, but only temporarily. When these people stroll down Amber Alley, they'll have to keep on walking past the Rathskeller, and this neon open sign remains dark. That's because the notice in the restaurant's window says the Rat is undergoing some much-needed repairs. The restaurant is expected to reopen by the end of the summer. The Chapel Hill Town Council has chosen a new manager. Former Fayetteville City Manager Roger Stansel will replace Cal Horton as Chapel Hill Town Manager on September 1st. Stansel outlasted 2 other competitors in last week's grueling series of interviews. Council members say it was Stansel's combination of creativity and competency that won him the position.
Are you a Carolina basketball fan used to long lines on distribution Sundays? UNC Chapel Hill has a new way of distributing men's basketball tickets. Students will now register online, and computers will randomly select ticket winners, which means students won't have to get up on Saturday mornings anymore and trek to the Dean Dome. It will also cut down on personnel UNC must hire. The new system won't allow friends to get more than 2 tickets together. And some people think the die-hard fans are the ones who will lose out.
With the new system, I think some people who, I don't want to call them slackers, but those who didn't want to get up in the morning are going to be included, and it'll affect, I guess, the atmosphere of the games.
Some students say camping out for tickets was a highlight, even the day after Halloween. Well, another idyllic spot in Chapel Hill could be home to new construction. This meadow on NC Highway 54 is being considered for development of a high-tech medical facility. Chapel Hill's Michael Rosenberg wants to build a 3-story facility featuring 11 condominiums and a huge parking lot. Because the space is so close to the Meadowmont community, there are many concerns about the development's impact. Critics envision concrete and SUVs, while advocates claim the tech jobs will be good for Chapel Hill. And litter is an unwelcoming sight wherever you are in Chapel Hill. Officials are taking notice of an increased amount in the streams around town. There are lots of beer cans and party cups alongside Bowling Creek. And with so much rain in the past week, stormwater educator Wendy Smith says it's not just water that's going into the creek.
The storm drains lead directly to creeks and drainage ways, and so anything that's carried by the water goes down them into our creeks, whether that's litter, fertilizer, pet waste, pesticides, or anything else that is on the ground.
Smith sees more trash around student housing and rentals and says people need to show a personal sense of responsibility and pick it up.
Coming up, trips to the dentist might not always be at the top of our to-do lists.
But when we come back, we'll tell you why they should be and show you a few easy steps to maintain that healthy smile.
Where's the whole week? Where's the whole week? Hey, excuse me? Excuse me, sir. Something wrong? Yeah, there's something wrong. You want to get me some whole wheat? Oh, come on. Hey, hey, amigo. Hey, I asked you for whole wheat bread. This is not what I wanted. El Guido.
Sorry for the confusion.
You know, that's the problem with these people. If you want to serve Americans, you got to learn to speak the language. You know what I'm saying? No, sir. I don't. Enjoy your lunch.
Imagine the power of one voice. Click freedomcenter.org to find yours.
Did you know smiling is good for your teeth, your health? Reporter Jessica Floyd has more about how to take care of your pearly whites.
Your teeth are one of the first things people notice about you. After all, talking is the main way we communicate. We all know you should brush and floss your teeth at least twice a day. But how long should you brush?
3 to 5 minutes.
30 seconds? 1 to 2 minutes, probably.
Until I feel like it's clean, so there's no plaque. It varies day to day.
But Dr. Edward Clemens says it shouldn't vary.
We basically recommend that you try to brush at least 2 minutes.
Dr. Clemens says it's ideal to brush your teeth after every meal. However, dentists agree that it's not always practical. So here are some tips to remember after midday meals and snacks. Gargle with water, chew sugarless gum, and avoid sugary foods. And for good dental health in general, try substituting fruits and vegetables for more sugary foods like cookies and ice cream. Reducing your sugar intake can lower the amount of harmful bacteria that lives in your mouth. To get rid of the bacteria, Dr. Clemens says you should use a certain technique when brushing.
Circular pattern with a soft toothbrush. Circular pattern because then the bristles of your toothbrush can sweep between teeth and also under the gum line.
Most people have the circular motion down pat. You should also remember to brush your tongue and your back teeth. Knowing the proper way to care for your teeth helps make a good impression with the first thing people notice about you, your smile. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jessica Floyd, Carolina Week.
And Dr. Clemens says if you're really pressed for time, you should try brush-ups.
Well, professional surfer Mick Fanning and Reef Flip-Flops have teamed up to bring you a new product. And even though it's selling fast, it's also stirred up some controversy. From the front, these flip-flops look like any other on the market. But when you turn them over, you'll find a surprise. Yep, that's a bottle opener. And unless you're looking for the old-fashioned Coca-Cola bottles, the only thing we could find that needed a bottle opener was beer and malt liquor. Some think these flip-flops encourage underage drinking, and surf shop manager Chris Jackson agrees that might be a problem.
Yeah, it probably does encourage it, but as stringent as the laws are, I mean, I know it's hard. I know some kids are going to be able to get whatever they want whenever they want, but it's going to be hard for kids because of the drinking laws.
If you're looking for these flip-flops, you can find them at South Point Mall and other sports stores for $47.
Many people across the state are tuning in to General Hospital this week.
We're wrong for each other.
So? Sometimes the one that's wrong is the one you can't walk away from.
There's about to be a new face on the show. Maurice Whitfield of Durham beat out more than 700 contestants at the I Want to Be a Soap Star competition. His mother, Veronica Pettiford, can't wait to see him on one of her favorite soaps.
I was very, very happy for him, very pleased, very proud, really excited, and just wanting everything to wrap up so that I could run and grab him and, and give him a big hug.
Maurice is a student at Elon University. He has a speaking part in the show and will appear on General Hospital this Friday and next Monday. And if he becomes famous, Maurice might start making the rounds at North Carolina's many festivals. Reporter Jerry Simmons attended one of these festivals where everyone was happy to be singing the blues.
Welcome to Burgaw, home of the 3rd annual North Carolina Blueberry Festival. The music performances were energetic, antique cars lined the streets, and the smell of funnel cakes filled the air. But there was no bigger attraction than blueberries. But for some, the sand art and inflatable fun were more important than the blueberries. B. Moore brought her grandchildren to the festival to play.
We did the slippy slide, and we've done the jumpaline and the sand art.
The slide was a hot commodity at the festival. The slide line was almost as long as the line to purchase blueberries. Event organizer Wayne Batten says there's no surprise the blueberry lines were so long.
We may be looking at $50,000 in sales today just on blueberries. The total economic impact to the region, even our restaurants that are 10 or 15 miles away benefit from the festival.
Many blueberry boxes like these were empty by midday. The berries were selling, and they were selling fast.
Recently, Governor Easley proclaimed the month of June to be Blueberry Month for North Carolina. And the Blueberry Festival is one of the ways that North Carolinian citizens can celebrate.
More than 15,000 people came to take part in the activities, and many left with blueberries, painted faces, and fond memories of the 2006 Blueberry Festival. In Burgaw, I'm Jerry Simmons, Carolina Week.
According to the North Carolina Department of Agriculture, blueberries are very good for you. They contain antioxidants which can protect against cancer and lower the risk of heart disease. And weathercaster Rob Ellis joins us now.
Rob, will you tell us what's going on? This weather's been confusing me lately. Rain, sun, rain, sun.
Boy, we got stuck in a pattern there for a while where we just had so much moisture in the area that just would be rain after day after day after day of rain, and it looks like things finally are going to be clearing out. We finally had some midweek relief from the rain, which brought the summer campers back out into the sun, and I'll let you know after the break how weather might affect your weekend plans. Stick with us.
It's springtime in the forest of the black-tailed deer. The young male is feeling playful
It's time for tag. The female flicks her ears. Her way of saying, catch me if you can.
To change the world, you don't have to be rich or famous or play ball or lead countries. All you have to do is tell your family you want to be an organ donor. Talk to your family about organ donation. Talk to your family about donating life.
All right, well, thank you for joining us for Carolina Week Weather. Time now to take a look at our headlines, and boy, we've really been dealing with a lot of nasty weather over the past couple of weeks. Finally, though, we're getting a little bit of relief, and we're going to finally start drying out. It may take us a couple of days, but we will see some dry weather eventually move into the area. And do you remember the 90s? No, I'm not talking about that decade a while back. I'm talking about the temperatures. We will finally be back into the 90s. And those blue skies are going to return. Let's start out, as we always do, with the satellite map showing really all of this mess here along the coast. That's finally all of that moisture that's been moving out of the area. We had a little bit of a tropical plume pulling in some tropical air off of the Atlantic Ocean, and finally we're going to be able to push that out of the way, and eventually, it may take a couple of days, as I said, eventually we're going to see those blue skies return without those chances every day for those flooding rainfalls. Let's zoom in a little bit closer to the southeast to show you now a little bit of moisture still in place. As I said, that moisture, once you get it in the ground and the rivers are just saturated with all of that moisture, you still have it in the atmosphere, and it's going to take several days for those popcorn-type thunderstorms to move out of our area, but eventually we will see some nice days without those chances every day for thunderstorms. Looking at the radar, taking a quick peek here, those are the pop-up type thunderstorms that I've been talking about. You have a lot of moisture still in place, and when you get a heating of the day, we are clearing out a little bit, so you're able to get that sunshine in, and that allows the temperatures to heat up and gets the atmosphere to mix, and that's why we see all of these thunderstorms that we're seeing all throughout the southeast. Let's zoom back out to the surface map to show you what's really going on, and really skirting off the coast here is a cold front. Now, I wouldn't really call it a cold front. It's more of a boundary between that dry air and that moist air to the east. There's that low pressure center that we were watching earlier this week. All that's scooting up the coast, and now all the places along the east coast really have been dealing with some major flooding. We've been dealing with it here for about 2 weeks, and places all to the north are dealing with that flooding as well. Finally, they will be getting a break from that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-day forecast to show you what we expect. Now, a nice forecast in store. We'll start out Thursday with mostly sunny skies. Temperatures just below 90, but there's the 90s that I was talking about. Those eventually will be moving back into our area. But look at the forecast for your weekend. Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday, we're seeing partly cloudy skies. So those chances for thunderstorms are going to be a slight possibility, but nothing like those rainfall events that we've seen over the past several days, moving up into the low 90s, making it up to 92 by Sunday. So a very warm weekend is in store. Temperatures in the overnight hours should be around 70 degrees to just a little bit below that. Let's hop over to the beach to show you what's happening there. A little bit cooler, and really not a bad weekend to go to the beach here. 87 and 90 for Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny and partly cloudy skies. Can't argue too much with that. And as far as the mountains go, substantially cooler, 78 and 80 here, with plenty of sunshine as you go throughout the mountains. And so it looks like a beautiful weekend no matter where you plan on going. However, it does look like that we have a little bit of flooding in the northeast that we have to get rid of, and a few more days maybe of some potential for some thunderstorms. But overall, it looks like things are shaping up to be a nice weekend.
Well, it sounds like the temperatures are going to be hot, and I'm just happy the gray skies are clearing up.
Yeah, because I actually got stuck in the airport at New York. I couldn't get back down to Raleigh because they canceled our flight due to weather.
It's been unbelievable the amount of rainfall that they've gotten, but it looks like we're getting some breaks.
Yeah, well, Matt, sportscaster Matt Esters joins us now. And, I heard that the weather not only messed up my flight plans, but also some Carolina baseball.
Yeah, first game of the College World Series had a little bit of a rain delay, but that was the only weather disturbance, but that can't be said for the opposing team. The Oregon State Beavers gave the Tar Heels a bit of trouble. The Tar Heel baseball team again took on Oregon State for the last national championship of 2006. We have the Heels run through the College World Series covered from Omaha to Chapel Hill next.
know, this used to be a good neighborhood. Now it's a mess. You got all these polyps running around. Stick it in the apple.
Colon cancer almost always starts with the polyp. Get the polyp early and stop colon cancer before it even starts.
Where'd you think you were running to, huh?
I didn't even see you guys there. I was...
Get the test, get the polyp,
I want to talk to my lawyer!
get the cure.
I got a phone call!
Take a pop quiz with me. In what film did I feel a need for speed? What was my call sign? Who did I sit behind in the F-14? Oh, and one more question. Who does your kid sit behind in homeroom?
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school and know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
It was UNC, Oregon State, and 3 games to decide the national championship in college baseball. Let's get right to it. We pick up the action in the 8th inning of Game 1, tied at 3. Chad Flack hits this timely triple into the corner to lead off the inning. The red-hot sophomore was 4 for 4 and scored 3 runs in the game. Get used to seeing the big fella run because on the very next pitch, OSU lefty Joe Patterson gets wild, and Flack races home just ahead of the tag with the go-ahead run. Flack hits the Omaha Yellow Pages to find the nearest oxygen bar, and the Heels take Game 1, 4-3. The Heels brought their unblemished playoff record into Game 2, 1 win away from the first baseball title in ACC history. Already up 2-0, UNC pulled ahead 4-zip on this double by freshman Tim Fedorovich, or as me and Brittany like to call him, T-Fed. The Heels added another in the 4th to go up 5-0, but that's when the wheels fell off. Shea McFeely chased starter Robert Woodard with this 2-run double, and the runs kept on coming. Darwin Barney's single makes it 5-3, and Matt Danford's wild pitch brought OSU within 1. And then there was the big blast. Bill Rowe's 3-run homer put the Beavers up 7-4. They take Game 2, 11-7. So it all came down to a winner-take-all final in Game 3. A first-time winner was guaranteed. OSU struck first in the 4th when pitcher Daniel Bard made 2 errors on this John Wallace bunt, allowing Tyler Graham, who singled to start the inning, to score from second. The Beavers tagged on another to go up 2-0, but the Heels responded in the next inning behind this Seth Williams double that scored Jay Cox, and then Mike Cavassini's 2-out single that plated Williams, tying the score at 2. The pitchers would settle down, and the score stayed that way into the 8th when with 2 outs, UNC coach Mike Fox has Josh Horton steal home, but Benji Johnson struck out to end the inning, nullifying the run. So we head to the home half of the 8th where Andrew Miller comes on in relief of Bard. With 2 outs, Miller induces Ryan Gibson into a routine grounder that is thrown away by second baseman Brian Steed, allowing Bill Rowe to score the go-ahead run. Bard, Steed, Coach Fox, the look on their faces say it all. The Tar Heels rallied in the 9th, but closer Kevin Gunderson got Flack to fly out with a tying run on 3rd, giving the Beavers the first title in their program's history. Even though the Heels didn't bring home the title, the team received a warm welcome at Boshamer Stadium on Tuesday. Police cars escorted the team back to campus with sirens blaring. As the players got off the bus, they were met by a frenzied crowd of the Tar Heel faithful. They were very excited to see the Heels back in town. Coach Fox thanked the fans for their consistent support of the Heels throughout the season. Though Fox and the
did some things in this program that have never been done before, and so we're gonna look at the bright side and relish in that.
Roy Williams was in Omaha to cheer on the baseball team, yet he still found time to chat with the media about what could be a great season for his own squad. Jerry Simmons has that story.
It's the off-season, but things are rolling for UNC's basketball team. Coach Williams says all of the team members are here at UNC thanks to an NCAA rule that allows scholarships to cover athlete schooling in the summer.
I think it's invaluable. I think it makes the fall period so much easier for them. In fact, what we did last year, we would never have attempted to do if they hadn't been here during the summer.
He says it's great the players are getting to know each other. Teamwork will be needed for what Roy says will be a challenging road ahead.
The fall conditioning program will be it'll be the toughest it's ever been.
Roy isn't the only one excited about the new recruits. The Heels recruited 6 new guys, all who he expects to contribute.
We have a solid core of guys coming back that really did some nice things. and we have some very talented individuals coming in that I hope will add to that.
As for how he wants to run the game in the upcoming season, Roy says he wants to play faster.
I think we've finally have the kind of depth that I think we can do that if we can just get them to do it the way I want them to do it. I think that it could be a lot of fun.
It's summertime and the Dean Dome isn't filled with thousands of fans. Even Ramses the Ram is on vacation. But this summer, you won't find Roy vacationing because he is working hard to prepare the Hills for what he hopes will be an exceptional season. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jerry Simmons, Carolina Week.
Former UNC star and current Minnesota Timberwolf Rashad McCants might miss all of next season. He underwent microfracture surgery on his right knee 2 weeks ago to correct soreness he felt at the end of the season. It's not uncommon for recovery time to last an entire season, and the T-Wolf coaching staff has expressed concern about rushing McCants back. So certainly a tough break for Rashad McCants, also for the baseball team, but a lot of young players, a lot of juniors, freshmen, and sophomores on the team, so hopefully they'll come back next year and make another run at the title.
Yeah, hopefully next year will be bigger and better for the Tar Heels all around.
Sure.
Thanks, Matt.
You bet.
Thanks. All right, well, the local ice cream truck might have some competition. When we come back, we'll show you a cold Mexican treat that comes in all sorts of crazy flavors.
Sniffing things to get high can deprive your brain of the oxygen it needs to keep you alive.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
On a hot day, there's nothing better than a smoothie.
No, a brewski. Oh, I'm sorry, forget I said that. There's a new choice for cool refreshment. Will Weldon reports.
There's a new craze that's sweeping across Durham. This new fad is called Loco Pops, a little store that sells ice cream on a stick.
The shop itself has taken on a life of its own, and it really belongs to Durham, not so much to any one person, which is a great thing.
Summer Bicknell started Loco Pops after getting tired of an office job in Nashville, Tennessee. One day she tasted paletas, Mexican fruity ice pops, and told a friend that she could make them too.
Literally 3 months to the day after that, I was crossing the border going to Mexico, having quit my job, sold my house, and packed my dogs up, and what few worldly possessions I felt could survive the trip, and drove down there to find someone to teach me.
Now, after only 1 year, folks in Durham are, dare we say it, cuckoo for Loco Pops.
It's exciting. I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night thinking, oh, what a great flavor that would be. And it's just a lot of fun. It's very inspirational.
Connie Siemens joined Bicknell after she, too, was tired of her job. They both love mixing and creating flavors, which come from around the world, not just Mexico. And many flavors begin as suggestions from members of the community.
As much of Durham has discovered, it's hard to beat Loco Pops on a hot summer afternoon. My new favorite flavor is strawberry balsamic. It's wonderfully unique.
I like hibiscus.
Mojito.
Cookies and cream.
Grapefruit basil. I had the olive oil and cream, which was muy bueno, I guess. I have watermelon peach. She had the nananilla, and she enjoyed it.
For now, Loco Pops are local, only in Durham. But word is spreading fast.
Yeah, we live in Washington, D.C., so we came all the way here for these. Wow. Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm having another Loco Pop. In Durham, I'm Will Weldon, Carolina Week.
Well, and Loco Pops is located on Hillsborough Road, close to 9th Street, in case you want to know where that's at. And it looks like it's a good time for everyone. So that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.